My full name is Stephen Philip Bowker, Bowker. I was born in Birkenhead in the UK. I don't know the name of the hospital. I can't remember at the moment, but yeah, Birkenhead.
When?
In Cheshire.
When?
Yeah.
18th
of June 1951. Sorry, my hearing. I'm a son. My parents' names is Tom and Joan. My father's name after his brother, but then also my mother, Joan. Well, her name's really Margaret Joan, but she always preferred to be the name Joan. Determination, yeah, to get through a prisoner of war camp and then to then come to Australia at the age of 60, 65, no, not quite 65, but 60. Yeah, I'd say that. My mum, I'd have to say her hair. It was typical, but it was very thick and, yeah, bushy and wavy. And I seem to have inherited a little bit of that, but which is something I'm always grateful for. Mum, oh yeah, she was always a good cook. She always seemed to do the right things by us until I stepped out of line. I'm also a brother. Rob, well, Rob's younger than I am. He's 4 years, 3.5 years younger. Geez. Well, we had a few squabbles because my parents both worked. Invariably, when it used to come to the school holidays in the UK, we used to get 6-week holidays. So they were busy. I always ended up having to look after my brother. What do? I didn't really get. Being 4 years older, I wanted to go out with my mates. I didn't want this little tucker hanging around. So we had 1 or 2 issues, but no, generally, no, we've got on pretty well, and we still do. I would say he's got a bit of a free spirit. Got himself in a bit of bother here and there, but nothing too bad. But yeah, a lot of that hinged around when my mum and dad wanted to migrate out to the UK, from the UK to Australia. He didn't want to come, but he got told he had to come. I'm a father. Children's names. First one is Sarah Jane. She was born in 1973. Then we've had Leanne. I won't say her second name because she'd get embarrassed. She doesn't like the name Rosemary. I did not. Yeah, Leanne Rosemary, and then we've got Claire Jane.
Claire Louise.
Oh, Claire Louise, sorry. Claire Jane, where did I get that from? Oh, your sister. Sarah's best quality. Resilient. She's very resilient. Good at sport. Good at all the netball that we put all the kids through. That was schooling wise. She left school a little. She didn't go on to do a full final year, and she's moved on from what she did there. She had an opportunity to. She went out on job experience, and a friend of ours was in an office works sort of a place. The store in the sort of office works, and it was a warehouse situation, and he did so well at it, they actually offered her a job, And Mum and I, we had to decide whether, we really want you to go on and finish school, But, okay, when you finish school next year, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be mixing in with all these other kids all of a sudden. It's going to become a big honey pot. So if they're offering you a good job and a good prospects, so we decided to let her take it out. Well, now she's virtually 2IC to the CEO of the company. Leanne, ooh, she's very independent, very resilient again, primarily because, like with all three girls, daughters, they've all played sport. The wife, very strong into netball, played, coached, and president of a club. I was very sporty with the soccer, involved, playing, and then help running a soccer club. Leanne, so back to Leanne. Yeah, she suffered some injuries with the sport, but her and her husband Craig, how they started this business, they did their own apprenticeship. They started from nothing. They always knew how to make a quid, from school age and everything else. And the first one was agapanthus, plants that everybody seems to hate. And they'd go and go around the estate and around the area and everything else to knock on people's doors and say, "Oh, what are you growing? It's a bit unruly. Would you like it tidying up?" And they're always the catch, because invariably it's the older people and the pensioners. And they say, "Well, how much is it going to cost us?" And they'd say, "Nothing. Not going to cost you anything. But whatever we tidy up and we dig out and everything else is ours." And they agreed to it. No arguments. Like agapanthus, you get an area, I don't know, an armful of bulbs, and they could. They just repotted them, let them grow a little bit, and then you'd see an ad. They used to have an advert in the Sunday Observer, which used to be the paper, and it used to be a double-fold spread, and they'd have a little advert, 50 cents a bulb. Well, in an armful like that, you get a good 100. So they made good money. They got a big deposit. So, yeah, I admire them. I admire all my kids. Well, yes. She was the one that I probably feel, if anything, a little more regret on, because it's like anything with when you've got three children. You've the first child you can spend and you dote on and everything else, and then the second time, say with Leanne, you've got to divide your time between the two, and then you get the third time. So it becomes a little less and less. I often felt I should have tried to spend a lot more time with her and everything else. But she was the rebel. She seemed to be a bit of a rebel, but really we didn't mind that, and a lot of that that wasn't so much her fault. But we didn't mind the rebel in her, did we? No. Her husband. My wife's name is Rhoda Ann Simmons, nee Simmons, and a grandfather. I am a grandfather, yeah. Who we got? Yeah, this we got is Michaela. And then which is Sarah's daughter, Sarah and Peter's daughter. Then with Leanne's children is Tom's, and then Brianna, and then we have Claire and Steve. They've got Daniel and Isabel.
Well done. Well done.
Special to think about Michaela.
What makes her unique?
What makes her unique? Well, she's tall. She's taller than what I am. To me, that's making her unique. And but she's got such a caring nature. Tom, what do you like about Tom? What isn't there to like about Tom? Tom's one of the... he's a mountain of a man. He's not... Well, how old is he? He's, at the moment, he's 18, 19. He's got to be 19 now, hasn't he? And he's been great at sport. He loves his footy, but he loves his fishing. He loves hunting. His dad does as well, but they now go off doing hunting trips, fishing trips, boating trips, because the family business has done very well. They've able to do a lot of these things, and I think he could have a career if he really wanted it into the footy. He represented Eastern Ranges footy, and of which a number of players. This selection period for the trading. 2 or 3 of the players that he's played against, who he used to beat in the rock because he's 6 foot bloody 2, 3. He used to smash them, and they're now playing for Hawthorn and a couple of other clubs. So, but yeah, he's and he's a nice guy. Bree, well, she's followed on like Tom into the playing footy. She's a big girl. I say big girl. She's tall. And she loves to wear tight bloody tight outfits. So no, she's a beautiful girl. Daniel is another footy one. This happens. Yeah, it must be something in the trees. I mean, with all the trees in the forest where they live and where they've all grown up. Because he's another tall. Yeah. He loves his baseball. He's at this point he's hoping to be going to the States for tryouts, etc. And well, we've watched him. He's been selected for a number of teams, Victorian teams. So yeah, Isabel. She's a lovable one. Again, she's very sort of a caring person. She does very well at school. She's one that seems to take care for, I might say, for children who are feeling a bit sad or a bit off. They're a little different to the rest of the children. She's doesn't like to see other children, running other kids down. So she's the one that'll stand up for them. Good question. My father was born in Manchester, 1919. My mother was born in Birkenhead, and 1921, I think it is. 23, sorry, I'm told. I was able to put it off. We managed to put it off because at that stage I was coming up to the age of 18, and I just met a very nice lady, and I didn't want to go. And so when I actually went and had a chat to my dad to say, look, I'm not coming to Australia with you. He says, well, we've got to. There's got to be one of you sons goes to Australia, because to migrate, if you come in on your own, not so good. But if you've got children left in the UK, you're going to be coming back, so it's not going to work. So that's so we had to put it to Rob. My dad, because he was a prisoner of war, etc., accepted what we were saying, and allowed me to stop. He organised with my auntie, who was close by, my auntie Evelyn, who was his sister, that I could go and live with them. But it was all to do with I was able to get out of it because conscription in Australia. At the age of 21, you go onto that list to get your name on the list, and then it was a raffle basically to if your number came out. And my dad didn't want me to be anywhere near a war. They both worked. My parents. My father was he was group quality manager for Plessy, a company, a UK company, Plessy Automotive, which I eventually went and worked for. But my mum then also had a job in the accounts department at that company as well. My dad, well, that's the unfortunate part is he got a permanent stiff leg, and that was caused by a motorbike accident back up in Manchester in the UK, when he went to try and help a friend who needed a lift, who was in Liverpool, and they were coming back on back to Manchester, but unfortunately going over a canal bridge on a foggy night, a car came up the wrong side of the road and didn't clean them up, but made him swerve off the road, and unfortunately he hit a lamppost, not with the bike, but with his knee, sitting on a motorbike. So yeah, so he ended up, unfortunately, when they reset the knee and everything else, I don't know, like the cement they must have used, they actually laid his leg down instead of having it resting up and angled, and it ran down into the kneecap and set solid. Probably determination, because he suffered a lot of adversity throughout life. As you'll find out with my wife, her father also was a prisoner, and my father, they were both prisoners of war in the Second World War. And we've managed to glean a lot of stories about his life and his upbringing, and this is what's encouraged me to do what we're trying now. So it's much appreciated. Unfortunately, while he was on the beaches, he got wounded, and they managed to get him, load him onto a barge, and he was one of the largest barges that were going out to go back to try and get back to the ships that were further out, and he was not in the hull, but he's rested up against the tunnel, a funnel on one side, and a bloody big shell landed in the boat, the other side of the funnel, and blew him about 20 metres in the air, and he was ended up in the bloody water. And he got taken back to the beach, and it was there that he was placed right next to a German soldier who actually was a commander of a senior rank anyway. And when it was obvious that the Germans were coming along, and still they were getting strafed occasionally by planes from above, he was able to survive that. But when the German troops came along and arrested him, just prior to that, this German soldier who my dad was able to communicate with in French, because both of them knew a little bit of French, and he actually pulled out a shirt, the German, and says, "You have this." His shirt was all tatty and everything else that he was wearing, covered in blood and everything. But so my dad was able to put the shirt on, everything else, and because it was a German shirt, he got treated with respect when they came to take him. But then they sent him all over the bloody place as a prisoner of war. But that was his hard time. He was in with the 4th Army, but he was more with doing all the maintenance truck, trying to keep all the bloody trucks and things mobile. He was at Tobruk. He was. That was. What did he tell me? The story he told me there was his first real encounter was because he got put on battery duty, charging all the batteries for all the trucks and things like that. But it was too noisy. So they said, the commander bloody said, right, the only way is to push them out forward, right to the front of the trenches, and put all the batteries up there and do all the charging overnight, this and things like that, right out the front. But somebody's got to be there to do it. And of course, the issue with that was whenever there was any firing or anything like that, at night time the Germans would hear all these noises sort of starting up, charging and everything else. It attracted a lot of attention. And he said this was just happened to be one time that he's sitting there in his trench and everything else, and he just sort of glanced up, come round a bend, came a German, and the bloody German chased after him all the way down, firing shots at him, and he was, fortunately for my dad, he was a very good runner. When it came to the end of the war, the Germans just all vacated the prisoner of war camp. They just got to the stage of they all woke up in the morning and everything else and started walking around the camp. There was no guards. They had all disappeared because the bloody troops and the Allies were only a case of about 4 or 5 miles outside. So anyway, they evacuated, but they had to march back from where they were all the way back to Dunkirk to try and get evacuated to get back to the UK. My earliest memory goes, I would have been about, I suppose, I don't know, about 3. And that was my mum walking me down when we lived in Buckingham, in Buckinghamshire in the UK. My mum was taking me to the dentist for the first time, and because I did have sort of big teeth, sort of bit bucky, and it frightened the living daylights out of me. But we were walking down towards a bus stop and to go get the bus to go to the dentist, and then all of a sudden my dad's coming home from work, and I've snatched out of my mum's hand and I've got to run to Dad. I don't want to go to the dentist. And I remember that. It's about the oldest memory I can have.
When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Soccer player.
Did you have a favorite toy as a child?
Yeah. My cowboy hat and my bike. The trike, three-wheeler. It was sixpence. And we're given that every Saturday morning. And we used to go to the Tanner, we used to call the Tanner Rush. We'd rush and get the bus and we'd go to the pictures, for the kids. And you get the cartoons and you used to get a main from the film. And I also then had threepence left to go on. I would go from there to the toy shop with all the soldiers and everything else, and I'd buy myself a soldier each week. My first job was actually I went trying to earn pocket money, more money, and that was I got employed by the co-op to ride a bike. It was with the old, and it had one of the old butcher's bikes where a big crate at the sort of thing at the front. And I used to go and make all the deliveries, and I used to do that on a Friday evening, and then on a Saturday morning, going around doing the deliveries. And that's one of the things that really annoyed me, because I made more money doing that with the tips and everything else than my first real job, which was my first real job was as an apprentice environmental engineer, which was working in test house laboratories, and I only got £5 a week then for that. And then my mum took half for board. So I went from earning about £7 or £8 down to about £2.50. Yeah. I love to relate the story. I can only relate quickly the story of being in the UK, living in the going to school, junior school. And my first experience with the law was it was coming up to bonfire night, 5th of November, and I had been and bought a couple of penny bangers, and you're allowed to they'd serve you in the shops. They shouldn't have done, because I was only 7, 8. Anyway, and also somehow I got matches, and I set this banger off and threw it up onto a window ledge to scare my friend's mum, and it went bang. But before I knew it, this big man came racing out into the alleyway and grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and dragged me all the way down to the police station, abusing the hell out of me. He was all the way. And then the policeman decided that he was going to take me home, and that's where my dad got hold of me and gave me a good hiding. But it was Yeah, I remember it was a bit frightening. Favourite subjects? Besides sport, actually I like geography and I used to enjoy the history. I was never one for much in the chemistry, physics sort of things. How did I meet Anne, for God's sake? That's a good one. I first met Anne. She was going out with a friend of mine, and we met her, and it was on a Sunday. Anne was very much into swimming. She was an extremely good swimmer, and she had town and county trials for swimming. She had an Olympic swimmer, Jackie Enfield, I think it was, who swam for England in the Olympics, etc. And she used to compete against her a little bit. So I met her anyway. With this particular time, me and my mates, a gang, we'd formed a soccer club team and everything else. We'd made the final, and we'd won this final. It was for a youth club, and we got a trophy. You know, we won a trophy, a shield. And my first time I saw Anne, she was pedalling up the hill at Chelcombe Avenue, where we used to live. With a meeting at Ray's place, and my first sighting of her was this blonde-haired girl with her hair sort of hanging down, all wet because she's been swimming, and she's got a big basket on the front of a bike. She's pedalling, and there's these two cups. Was it? Yeah, there was two bloody big cups that she'd won. So we were all embarrassed. We went into my mate's lounge and everything else, and I offered Anne a seat because and she's got these bloody great cups. I couldn't. We were embarrassed because we got this little shit. She got these bloody cups. Oh, she loves sport. She loves sport. Yeah, tell a couple of funny stories there. We happened to be playing on what the parks used to be called recs, recreational reserves, and they place all sports. And we were playing a soccer match on a Sunday. No, it'd be a Saturday, wouldn't it? Playing Saturday. And right opposite, just next to us, was a hockey match. And we were playing the game, and I've actually glanced over. At this stage, we weren't going out together or anything like this, but I saw this bloody guy, because it was a mixed game of hockey. This guy sort of lifted this girl's ankle and trying to trip her up and everything else, and all of a sudden she's just quite casually going through it, and all of a sudden the stick just come back, and it was deliberate. Bang! Caught him right over the bloody shoulder. And he went down like a sack of potatoes, and I thought, geez, that's my type of girl. I just thought it was. She takes nothing. No, she takes no bullshit. Christ almighty, I did that when I was bloody 18. Yeah, I asked. Yeah, it was in the small front room at Anne's place at home, and her parents were in the other room. And I got down on my knee and asked her if she'd marry me. To my surprise, she said yes. So we were engaged for 3 years and then got married at 21. We were married in Northampton in the UK, in the Midlands, Northamptonshire. And that was, we got married on the 26th of August. He's going to go with 1972. That I think they'd find surprising. That everybody used to communicate, I think, so much better publicly. They seem to have lost some of the skills, whether it was COVID or whatever else. And I think they need to pick up on those things and improve them. I think the school curriculum needs to be looked at very closely. To teach them not so much, physics and too much physics and things of that nature, to teach them how to live. Just these kids these days, they couldn't even cook. They don't know how to communicate. Schools need to be, I don't know, more interactive.
If you could pass one law, what would it be?
Youth detention, self-preservation. I think you hear of a lot of kids going off track or getting lost in life, but I think there's a hell of a lot of bloody kids who are doing it right. Won't bloody listen to their elders. What's right with the old folks? What's right with the old folks? Yeah, I think that we do offer good advice, and they should listen to us. Don't listen to everything you bloody hear. Make your own judgment. Applied a lot of common sense. The hardest times in my life, I didn't really have any real hard times. Or I suppose when my dad bloody left us, Mum and Dad came to Australia. But no, I think the hardest times is some of the things that we've had to overcome when we were married. Like an 18.5% bloody interest on the housing loan mortgage. That was phenomenal. Just and then, but what do we do? Well, okay. What can you do? You've got to look for ways of pulling it all together. And the main one for any kid, you can teach any bloody kids, is to consolidate all your debts and get it into one bloody loan and start paying the bloody thing back. My favourite city? Well, we've done quite a bit of travelling, but I love history, and I think realistically you can't go past London for history, for museums, and but then again, places over in Europe. We went to Paris, the Louvre. There's so much to see and do. And then we went to Rome. Then you got the Colosseum. Yeah, just mind blowing. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. What's the name of it? Oh, This Guy's in Love with You, because that was the first song that Anne and I really danced to. Favourite food? Oh, Thai. My favourite things to do now? Travel. You know, we've got the caravan. We've been around Australia, not all the way around. There's still places to see. I don't think I'll get round all of them. I'm getting to the stage where I'm thinking, do I want to tow this big thing behind me?
Is there anything left on your bucket list?
I think we're just reviewing it at the moment to see what we can do. Unfortunately, it comes down to finances. We do a lot of trips over to the UK, visiting every second, third year, and vice versa. We have people coming out from the UK to see us, which most of them are old mates, aren't they? As well as some of your family. So, yeah. So I might have to go and get a job. What makes me sad? Oh, been known to crack a tear, I suppose, at the odd romantic movies or something like that. I'm a bit of a softie. What makes me happy? Seeing my family happy, getting along together. Christmas is have all been family gets-togethers, because we're not a large family, you know. With that's happy times. I like to see them doing well. We like to, even when we can't celebrate it with the kids or the grandkids or anything like that. It puts a smile on our face when we hear they're doing so well. When you go back to the sad times, well, the sad times are, if they're not doing too well, or they're sick and ill. But generally, no, we're quite an easy going. I am such a big softie at times, and I'm easily manipulated. Whether it's the kids or the good lady. Best advice I've been given: come out to Australia. Don't take life for granted. Don't worry, son, you've got a great time ahead of you. The only regret I could say I probably have, looking back now, it's not really a regret, but I did have the opportunity to, I was trialling with Northampton Town Football Club when they were in the old English First Division. And Dad was always dropping me off to go the training, and just I was sort of on a little bit of a trial. But there was a certain lady just sort of met that it was a total distraction, and training got a bit bloody hard, and I got a couple of injuries, and knee injuries. I spent a bit too much time round at Annie's place.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like too many regrets.
No, it's not too many. I really haven't got any regrets. Pleasure. The best sandwich? Cheese and onion. The stronger the cheese, the better. One thing I should throw out: half my socks and underpants. Scariest, I know. Well, I would have to agree with snakes, primarily because we had one stuck in the muddy in our garage about 4 weeks ago.
Apples or oranges?
Oh, apples. Won't be die. I am a little bit religious. I like to think that, my spirit's going to go floating up in the sky, and yes, I'll be up there staring down on everybody thinking, you bloody idiots. Oh, you kids, come on.
That sounds like an angel, doesn't it?
I'm no angel. Favourite smell? I haven't really got a favourite smell. Anne's cooking.
Least favorite smell?
My cooking. Me, I like sparkling.
You get one song to listen to the rest of your life. What would it be?
I'm not very good musically. No. The Liverpool anthem. I'm a Man U supporter, not Liverpool, but You'll Never Walk Alone.
Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Just my life. Content. Loving what I'm doing.
Yeah. What number am I thinking of? Nope.
18. That's my number.